Dark necromancy, cannibal poets, and one long-suffering manservant. Welcome back to the bizarre misadventures of Bauchelain and Korbal Broach. If you thought the Malazan world couldn't get any stranger, you clearly have not read these second collected tales. Hi everyone, I'm Jim and this is Fantasy for the Ages. Thanks for being here. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, and hit that notification bell so you'll be reminded when our new episodes drop, which is almost like every day. And a special thank you to our amazing Patreon supporters. You really help make this continue to be possible. If you're not part of our Patreon community yet, you can check out the link to our Patreon in the show notes. Today we're talking about the second collected tales of Bauchelain and Korbal Broach by Steven Erikson. This collection came out in 2018, but it puts together three shorter works that were originally published separately. The Wurms of Blearmouth that first came out in 2012, The Cracked Pot Trail from 2009, and The Fiends of Nightmaria, a 2016 publication. Together, and they do fit together, they give us more time with Erikson's most bizarre duo, Bauchelain, the smooth-talking necromancer, and Korbal Broach, his disturbingly silent partner, who's just weird and has such questionable hobbies. And of course, along with them is the eternally put upon manservant, Emancipor Reese. Here's some brief spoiler-light synopses of each of these stories. The Wurms of Blearmouth. Our dynamic duo arrives at a coastal backwater filled with corruption and cruelty. Predictably, things spiral into horror and hilarity, with the local tyrants finding themselves way out of their depth when Bauchelain and Korbal Broach get involved. Cracked Pot Trail? Oh my goodness. A surreal, grotesque story where a group of travelers, righteously pursuing Bauchelain and Korbal Broach to bring them to justice, are forced into a competition of storytelling while also facing, shall we say, unusual dietary constraints. Yes, this story is exactly as weird as it sounds. Ugh. Finally, the Fiends of Nightmaria. Here, our necromantic wanderers get entangled with politics and religious fanaticism in a ruined city. Expect more satire, bloodshed, and Erikson's dry wit as the locals learn the hard way that you don't want to cross these gentlemen or accidentally even get too close. I found this collection to be a pleasant romp back through the Malazan world. It doesn't really tie deeply into any of the larger, sprawling narrative of Malazan Book of the Fallen, but that's not the point. This is Erikson having fun with side tales, dark, absurd, and often laugh out loud bizarre. We see the hints of Erikson's humor throughout Malazan Book of the Fallen, but here he's not hinting anymore. He just lets us have it. What really stands out about these particular stories is that they don't even center much on Bauchelain and Korbal Broach. There was an original collected tales, and that was really all about them and Emancipor Reese and how they come together now. Here, it's almost like this is really about the other people, those poor souls they run into, whether they've impacted them directly, whether it's people chasing after them, or people just running for their lives. And at the heart of it all, you do still have Emancipor Reese, this man who deserves sainthood for putting up with these two lunatics. Here's 8 reasons that you might enjoy this collection. If you've already read it, you should appreciate each of these points. First of all, it's simply more Malazan content. If you're hungry for anything Erikson sets in this world, this scratches that itch. Secondly, Erikson's writing. Sharp, witty, lyrical, and laced with biting humor as always. Third reason to check it out are the unique characters. We already know Bauchelain and Korbal Broach and Reese, but then everyone else that comes along too. They're great, and altogether, it's unlike anything else you'll find in fantasy. Fourthly, the dark humor and horror elements. I mean, cannibal poets, religious fanatics, corrupt tyrants. It's all here. Fifth reason would be the satirical edge to these stories. They skewer politics, philosophy, and human folly in biting little packages. Number 6 is, and I've said it a few times, so you might be catching on, Emancipor Reese. I love this guy, and watching him endure is half the fun. Number 7 is self-contained stories. You don't have to remember 3,000 pages of lore to appreciate these. They can be read completely independently of the rest of Malazan. And finally, number 8, that Malazan vibe. Grim, weird, and oddly delightful, even when the blood and guts are flying. So, the second collected tales of Bauchelain and Korbal Broach, not essential Malazan reading, but if you're already a fan, it's a treat. Dark, witty, and unlike anything else you'll find in fantasy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and check out our Patreon page if you'd like to join our little community. Also, in the show notes are the other ways you can interact with my son, Zach, co-host, and I, our social media links, our email, even an invitation to join us and a whole bunch of other fans on our Discord server. All right, that's where I'll leave you. We'll talk to you next time.